Greetings, humans. It's week 6. I'm Bob Harris, senior editor of FootballDiehards.com. This is your injury review, preview, update, overview thing. Something we like to do every Saturday to kind of get you up to speed, set the table, so to speak, and get you aware of all the things you need to be aware of heading into the weekend's games. There was no Thursday game, so all the games are on the weekend. 2 Monday nighters this week. There are 4 teams on bye as we speak. The Saints, Seahawks, Raiders, and Chargers. Get those fellows out of your lineups if they were in there. And the COVID situations, the Falcons closed and opened. Their facility already went quickly. They could have opened the same day that they closed. They did not. They chose to wait a day. It was Thursday. They chose to open Friday. And they're back on track. And by the way, everyone there off the injury report, and that includes Julio Jones. So good news there. The Colts closed and opened the same day within a few hours. Seemed like false positive tests there. The Patriots closed up. They opened on Thursday, closed on Friday, opened back up this morning. That game, all these games are on track to play. The latest one, the Jaguars are currently closed as we speak. So all indications are they're going to play this game still. We'll see. Remember, the Lions have already had their bye, so this would really complicate things if they don't get it played. If something happens that they need to delay it, you could see it played Monday or Tuesday. But early indications are they still plan to play this game. So that's one to watch. As always, anything that changes, major changes to these items or anything I'm about to talk about will be added to the splash page of the video. Also, you should always be checking the late breaking news section of the site for all the latest news and information. Any updates or changes to anything I say here will appear there. And that'll include the Monday night games. The injury reports aren't out yet, although we have some information. But I'll go through the games chronologically, as I always do, to give you an idea what kind of fallback plans you need to have in place if some of your guys in the early games, and they're mostly early games, early afternoon window games, are questionable or in doubt. You know what kind of fallbacks you need to plan for. So we'll start with that early afternoon window. I mentioned the Atlanta game, the Falcons. Everyone's off the injury report. Julio Jones, Russell Gage, and Hayden Hurst were all removed on Friday. Julio obviously coming off the week absence. Is he 100%? We don't know. We'll find out in this matchup. It's a pretty good matchup for both teams, right? So on the other side of the ball, of course, the big news, Dalvin Cook is out. The Alexander Madison lottery ticket you purchased on draft day, you can cash it in this week. It's a great matchup for all involved, including Madison, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. So hoping for a high-scoring game here. The Cleveland Browns are at Pittsburgh. Baker Mayfield listed as questionable. Odell Beckham listed as questionable. Or Jarvis Landry listed as questionable. For Baker Mayfield, it's a chest issue. Took a hard hit last week. Steelers have a pretty tough pass rush. Mayfield claims his mama didn't raise no wuss. I'm quoting him. He intends to play. Injections, flak jackets, all these things are in play. Odell Beckham missed some practice time due to illness. He was cleared Saturday morning of COVID, all his COVID tests, 2 negative tests, so he's cleared to play. Landry added a rib injury. Remember, the hip has been an issue all along since he had surgery this offseason. The rib injury is a new one that he suffered last week. Sounded like it was pretty bad in game, but he actually came back and finished that game, so I'd expect him to play. On the other side of the ball, Deontay Johnson ruled out. Early week optimism turned into a clarity late in the week as he had a back injury that kept him out the second half last week. Chase Claypool will move into the starting lineup. He scored 4 touchdowns last week. Could he do it again? Sure. Anything's possible. Don't bet on it, but he will be in the lineup and getting more work this week. The Denver Broncos left for New England a short time ago, or were getting on the plane a short time ago. And I can tell you who was not on the plane. Melvin Gordon, Noah Fant, and KJ Hamler. Drew Lock, Gordon, and Fant all listed as questionable. Hamler already had been ruled out. Gordon apparently has strep throat. Yes, he had a DUI arrest earlier in the week. This is unrelated. He'll deal with that later. He has a hearing November 13th. The league will probably do something about it at that point in time. And maybe the team in advance of that. But for this week, he has strep throat. They didn't want to put him on the plane. Understandably so. Fant had the ankle injury. He was like kind of considered 50-50 on Friday. Apparently it was the wrong side of the 50. So he just isn't making the trip. So Nick Vanett, Albert O, the rookie, Jake Butt still on hand. At running back, we'll have Philip Lindsay return from his absence. And Royce Freeman's also in the mix. They promoted Jeremy Cox from the practice squad. As for Locke, Vic Fangio said on Friday they would have listed it as probable if they had a probable designation. He practiced fully on Friday. Expect him to play. They released Blake Bortles. leaves them with only 3 quarterbacks instead of 4. So all signs point to Locke playing when they get to New England. The other side of the ball, Julian Edelman listed as questionable. Expect him to play. Cam Newton is back. Practice. The one day they had to practice, they've been working virtually. I'm not sure if they'll get a walkthrough in today or whatever, but the facility is reopened. So game is on track to be played once again. Back to Jacksonville. I'll be watching that one throughout the day. Look, this is a great matchup, right, for the Lions. I'm hoping they get this game in. If you read my DFS 3 and out column, you know I'm all in on Matt Stafford and the receiving assets there. So, and even Adrian Peterson's not a horrible play. So, anyhow, DJ Chark for the Jaguars is listed as questionable. Seems pretty uncertain, you know, talking to my SiriusXM co-host Mike Dempsey, who covers the team on a daily basis there. He says it's pretty dicey for him. Chark did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, limited on Friday. Same with Tyler Eifert, same drill there. So James O'Shaughnessy would step up. Laviska Shenault Jr. had a hamstring issue, was limited early in the week, off the injury report late in the week. Chris Conley, Keelan Cole, all guys that would rise up the ranks a little bit if Chark can't play. But man, Chark really makes this offense better when he's on the field. It makes everyone better. So we'll see if he can get out there. Darius Slayton, New York Giants hosting the Washington football team. Darius Slayton listed as questionable with foot-toe issue. He seems to be trending towards playing. No one has seemed really concerned about his ability to get on the field. So assuming there are no setbacks, I would expect him to play. But he is listed as questionable. You'll need to check that in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. By the way, all these guys will have that information for you, the official versions for all the guys who are questionable. As always, on Sunday mornings and Sunday early afternoon in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. Each set of kickoff, each kickoff's windows. That's the late one, the Sunday night, all of them. Come on. All right, so moving on. I digress. The Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles are hosting Baltimore. Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey ruled out. It seems like that young Fulgham man is going to get a run. Adam Kaplan of SiriusXM reporting that Fulgham will remain the X receiver even when Jeffrey comes back, or at least remain the starter. So interesting there. Deshaun Jackson, these guys have been working on a limited basis, can't quite get it together. Other side of the ball, Miles Boykin is questionable, added the injury report on Friday. Pretty good matchup. Marquise Brown will be going up against Darius Slay, so some of the other receivers maybe find a little room. Good matchup for Mark Andrews as well. So hopefully the Ravens can get their passing attack on track. Zach Ertz, where are you, buddy? Come in, Ertz. We'll see if he shows up this week. Big article on that in the late breaking news section if you want to check those out. Tons of content there right now waiting for you, and there'll be more to come right up through all the kickoffs. Carolina Panthers, but Christian McCaffrey not coming off IR this week. The latest reporting is he'll return week 8. So the Mike Davis train keeps rolling. Going against the Bears is not a horrible matchup for him. Curtis Samuel is questionable with a knee injury. He seems to be truly 50-50. We'll take that up to game time. So you'll need to check back in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. Cincinnati at Indianapolis. For the Bengals, Auden Tate is listed as doubtful. Expect him not to play. A.J. Green off the injury report after aggravating his lingering hamstring issue. Last week, we didn't see him the second half of the game. A lot of frustration there. More articles on the site about that. And he's on board, man. He's just frustrated at his lack of production, just like you and I are. On the other side of the ball, Jordan Wilkins listed as questionable. Seems possible that he'll play, but really he's kind of fallen by, Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines getting the bulk of the workload. Mo Alley Cox ruled out for this game with a knee injury. The rise of Trey Burton continues. The Tennessee Titans hosting the Houston Texans. Darrington Evans, Corey Davis out. Evans went on, the backup running back, went on IR, so he'll be out at least 3 weeks. Hamstring injury he suffered on Tuesday night. Jeremy McNichols kind of rose up and filled that backup void. Not a lot of work there behind Derrick Henry, and this is Texas run defense that's not very good, so expect a lot of Henry in this one. A.J. Brown off the injury report. Corey Davis remains on the reserve COVID list, so hopefully he will get the negative test needed to come off soon, but it won't be this week. On the other side of the ball, Jordan Akins remains questionable. He missed last week's game. Darren Fells filled in capably, scored a touchdown last week. We'll see if Akins can get back. It sounds like a true game-time decision for him. Seems like less a concussion, more the ankle, from what I understand, but either way, questionable. Buddy Howell, the running back, also questionable. Duke Johnson's back now, so Howell kind of comes irrelevant. Romeo Crennel talked about getting Duke Johnson more involved. We hear that a lot. I talked to John McClain of the Houston Chronicle Friday night, and he said that's kind of lip service. When a coach gets asked, he kind of says nice things, and that was the case here. Expect a lot of David Johnson still. Late afternoon window, only 2 games. We have the Jets and Dolphins, Packers and Buccaneers. For the Jets, Sam Darnold officially listed as doubtful, unofficially already ruled out. Joe Flacco will start. Rashad Perriman has been out 3 weeks with an ankle injury. He's back. Adam Gase has said he's one of the best players on their team, or was in training camp, so they're happy to get him back, especially with the other injuries at wideout. Chris Hogan had gone on IR. Oh, also, Levion Bell got released this week. If you haven't been following along at home, he is now a Kansas City Chief. Won't play this week. Will be in the mix next week for Kansas City, but off there. So Frank Gore will start at running back with LaMichael Pirine, a guy that Adam Gase says he wants to get a longer look at. On the other side of the ball for the Dolphins, everybody's healthy. Good week for them. The Packers and Buccaneers, everyone was hurt, and Bruce Arians was calling them game time decisions early Friday after Friday's practice. Mike Evans came off the injury report. Chris Godwin off the injury report. Scotty Miller off the injury report. LaShawn McCoy off the injury report. Rob Gronkowski off the injury report. So all the guys who are nicked up and were heading towards game time decisions apparently are not now. The remaining one is Leonard Fournette. We saw him listed as doubtful last week. He was active but didn't play. I wonder if he wasn't active just because they had maxed out the inactive list. You could have 7 guys inactive, and they never intended to play him. This week, he seems like a true game time decision, so we'll watch that if he's available. It's not, run against the Packers is not impossible, so Ronald Jones, a good play, but Leonard Fournette could get some run there as well. On the other side of the ball, Devontae Adams is back off the injury report this week. Tyler Irvin has been ruled out, so return man mostly is getting a little run at running back. Mercedes Lewis off the injury report as well, so pretty much a loaded cast for this game, the game we've all been waiting for. Tom Brady against Aaron Rodgers, and the giant chip on Aaron Rodgers' shoulder, apparently. The Sunday night game, Rams 49ers, pretty clean injury report. Jeff Wilson Jr., the running back for the 49ers, listed as questionable. Jimmy Garoppolo off the injury report again. They're hoping they get more out of him after a horrible return from his high ankle sprain last week. It only lasted a half, and the numbers were not good, so they're hoping you do more, but it's a tough matchup in this one, right? Monday night games, or Monday games, we got 2 of them. Chiefs at Bills, Cardinals and Cowboys. For the Chiefs and Bills, Sammy Watkins is not going to play this week. He's not been officially ruled out yet, but hasn't practiced at all. Did not practice again Saturday. Their injury report won't come out till later in the day. Again, check the late-breaking update section of the site. Check the staff rankings. You'll find links to everybody and find all their latest information on their status for every player that's ranked, and there's a lot of them. So check that out. Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman limited on Friday. Nobody seems worried about them. Hill has an ongoing heel issue. Hardman dealing with an ankle issue. Hardman will move into the starting lineup, it seems. On the other side of the ball there, Dawson Knox was ruled out early Saturday. Calf injury. He suffered Tuesday night. Josh Allen, John Brown, Zach Moss have been practicing fully this week. Moss and Brown did last week and still ended up being inactive, listed as questionable and inactive. So we'll see. My expectation is both of those guys will be back, and of course, Josh Allen will play. Should get Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano back on the other side of the ball. For the Cowboys, a little talk that Leighton Vander Esch could be back for this game. Also, in case you didn't hear, I have bad news. Dak Prescott's season is over. Andy Dalton will be playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. In this one, he'll take over for the rest of the season. Dak hopes to be back in time for the end of OTAs next year. For the Arizona Cardinals, everyone on track to play that you're worried about. So Chandler Jones, the linebacker, done for the season with a biceps injury. But there you have it. Once again, hit the main page of the site. Tons of content up there right now, including all the late-breaking updates I've mentioned, keeping you up to speed on everything that's going on. And scroll on down. There's a lot of interesting content. I dig deep on a lot of these matchups and situations there as well. Also, tons of videos. The Prop Till You Drop with Jen Ryan covering prop bets also kind of pivots that into fantasy talk. The scholar John Lobb later Saturday night will be back with his DraftKings cash lineup show. Also have his college fantasy football show if you like the college fantasy football. And from earlier in the week, Kyle Dvorak and Jason Brady doing the DFS lineup show, the podcast, Football Diehards podcast there. Articles from Brad Cruz, one of the top high-stake players in the world, his usual sit-start. Lobb's DraftKings sheet of knowledge. The scholar is on the job. Justin Lanero digging into crazy DFS. Kyle Dvorak's cash and GPP breakdowns. Gary Davenport with his Shadow Knows, my own DFS 3 and out. And earlier stuff in the week, Evan Tarciano and Matthew Sharon chime in with their waiver wire picks, as does Kyle Dvorak. So hit the site every day, all week long. Tons of content there, including this video. And again, check the main page of the site. Look for updates. This sets the table for you, but we know things change. So come back and check it out all the way up through each kickoff window, right? And on Sunday morning, catch the pregame video with Jason Brady and Emil Kadlick, live, interact, ask questions, get answers, all that kind of fun stuff. So good luck this week.